Captain Sarah Chen's boots made soft clicking sounds against the polished floor of the International Space Station's observation deck. Her dark eyes reflected the ethereal light show unfolding beyond the reinforced windows. The Stellar Alliance vessels had appeared 3 days ago, their crystalline structures refracting sunlight into cascading rainbows across Earth's atmosphere. Status update from Houston, Captain. Lieutenant Rodriguez's voice crackled through her earpiece. They're still waiting for a response from the primary vessel. Sarah pressed her palm against the cool window, studying the largest ship. Unlike human spacecraft's utilitarian design, Alliance vessels resembled abstract art pieces, all sweeping curves and translucent surfaces that seemed to defy physical laws. The main ship alone dwarfed Manhattan, its crystal spires reaching toward Earth like beckoning fingers. 72 hours of silence, she murmured, more to herself than her lieutenant. That's not a diplomatic approach. That's psychological warfare. The station's sensors had recorded everything since the Alliance's arrival. The subtle gravitational distortions as they emerged from faster-than-light travel, the complex energy patterns pulsing between their ships, and the increasing electromagnetic interference with Earth's communications satellites. Sarah had spent 20 years studying xenorchaeology before joining the Space Force. Everything about this situation felt wrong. A golden beam suddenly lanced between the vessels, forming a geometric network that reminded Sarah of neural pathways. Her tablet chimed with incoming data. The energy readings were off the charts, but more concerning was the pattern. It matched ancient signals recorded in ruins on Mars, signals that predated human civilization by millions of years. Captain. Rodriguez's voice held an edge of panic. We're getting reports of mass unconsciousness in major cities. New York, London, Tokyo. People are just falling asleep. Sarah's fingers flew across her tablet, correlating the energy pattern with the affected areas. It's not random, she realized. The network, they're using it to target population centers. But why put people to sleep? Unless. Her thoughts raced to the Mars ruins, to the ancient pictographs showing beams of light emerging from crystalline structures. Not first contact scenarios, but transformation protocols. The Alliance hadn't come to meet humanity. They'd come to change them. Rodriguez, get me a secure line to Project Aurora. Authorization, Chen Alpha 79. Tell Dr. Morrison. She paused as movement caught her eye. Through the window, she watched as smaller crystal shards detached from the main vessels, descending toward Earth like a meteor shower made of light. Tell him it started. The Stellar Alliance isn't here for diplomatic relations. They're here to force evolution on their terms. She straightened her uniform, mind already racing through contingency plans. And tell him to activate the Dreamcatcher protocol. We prepared for this. We just didn't know what form it would take. The golden neural network expanded, now covering most of the northern hemisphere. Sarah watched as humanity's first contact with alien life transformed from a dream of peaceful exchange into something far more complex. But her expression held determination rather than fear. The Alliance clearly had plans for humanity, but they'd learn what every force throughout history had discovered. Humans never followed the expected path. As if in response to her thoughts, she noticed something peculiar. Where the golden light touched the station's hull, tiny fractal patterns emerged, but they weren't the rigid mathematical designs of Alliance technology. These were organic, unpredictable, beautiful in their chaos. Humanity was already adapting, even as the change began. Sarah Chen squared her shoulders and turned from the window. Rodriguez, prep the shuttle. We're heading to Project Aurora. If the Alliance wants to force evolution, they're about to learn that humanity evolves on its own terms. The first players were in position. The game had begun, but the rules were about to change in ways no one, human or Alliance, could predict. Dr. James Morrison pressed his forehead against the cool surface of his microscope's eyepiece, trying to make sense of what he was seeing. The blood sample from Subject 7 showed impossible changes. Structures that shouldn't exist in human biology were assembling themselves like quantum origami. The secure laboratory deep within Project Aurora hummed with activity. Rows of medical pods lined the walls, each containing a sleeping person displaying unique brainwave patterns. Unlike the millions who fell into forced slumber worldwide, these volunteers had been prepared with experimental protection protocols. Dr. Morrison, a young researcher, approached, tablet in hand. Subject 7's neural activity just spiked again. The patterns, they're unlike anything in our database. James straightened, rubbing his tired eyes. Show me. The display revealed brainwave frequencies that danced across multiple dimensions of measurement. Traditional EEG readings couldn't capture the full spectrum of activity. They'd had to develop new equipment just to track these changes. A commotion at the main entrance drew their attention. Captain Sarah Chen strode through the security checkpoint, still wearing her ISS uniform. Her presence commanded immediate attention, but James noticed the subtle signs of strain around her eyes. "James," she called out, moving directly to his station. "Tell me we have good news." He gestured to the microscope. "Define good." "The Alliance's transformation signal is changing human biology at the quantum level, but our subjects are responding differently than the general population. The Dreamcatcher protocol worked. Partially." Sarah leaned against his desk, examining the data displays. "Explain partially." The sleeping sickness still affected them, but instead of a complete shutdown, their minds are exploring. Subject 7 showed signs of consciousness an hour ago. She described experiencing multiple realities simultaneously. As if on cue, a gentle chime sounded from one of the medical pods. Subject 7, Dr. Emily Patel, a quantum physicist, was waking up. Her vital signs remained stable as her eyes fluttered open. "The stars," she whispered, her voice filled with wonder. "I can see how they're connected." James and Sarah exchanged glances before approaching her pod. Emily's eyes tracked their movement, but seemed to be focusing on something beyond them as well. "Dr. Patel," James spoke softly, "can you tell us what you experienced?" Emily slowly sat up, her movements deliberate. "The Alliance's signal. It's not just affecting our bodies. It's expanding our consciousness to perceive quantum states, but they didn't account for human creativity." She smiled. "We're not just accepting the changes. We're shaping them." Sarah stepped closer. "How do you mean?" "The transformation was supposed to be uniform, like a software update, but human consciousness is adapting it, personalizing it. Each of us is developing unique abilities based on our individual neural patterns." James checked the readings from other pods. "She's right. Every subject shows different patterns of quantum integration. The Alliance wanted to create a standardized transformation, but human diversity is turning it into something new." Sarah's tablet chimed with an incoming message. Her expression hardened as she read it. "The Alliance ships are moving. They're establishing a lower orbit, strengthening the signal. More people are falling asleep worldwide." "Then we need to wake them up," Emily said, standing carefully. She reached out, and for a moment, the air around her hand seemed to shimmer with possibility. "Not just wake them. We need to help them take control of their transformations. Like we did." James began compiling the data. "If we can understand how the Dreamcatcher protocol enabled this controlled awakening, we might be able to replicate it on a larger scale." Sarah watched as Emily demonstrated her newfound awareness, describing quantum probabilities as easily as others might describe the weather. "How long until we can help others?" "Unknown," James admitted, "but we have an advantage the Alliance didn't expect." He gestured to the rows of pods, where more subjects were showing signs of waking. They wanted to remake humanity in their image. Instead, they gave us the tools to remake ourselves. In the distance, through reinforced bunker walls, they could sense the crystalline ships moving through the sky. The race to save humanity had begun, not by fighting change, but by embracing it on their own terms. Emily Patel stood in Project Aurora's testing chamber, her eyes closed in concentration. Around her, quantum sensors recorded every fluctuation in reality as she reached out with her newfound awareness. The air shimmered like heat waves rising from hot pavement, but these distortions followed patterns that defied normal physics. "Remarkable," Dr. Morrison murmured, studying the readings. "She's not just perceiving quantum states, she's influencing them." Captain Chen watched from behind the observation window, her tactical mind already processing the implications. In the 2 weeks since the first awakening, each transformed individual had developed unique abilities that seemed to bridge the gap between quantum mechanics and macro reality. "Show me the probability matrix again," Emily called out, her voice steady despite the strain of maintaining quantum focus. The holographic display shifted, revealing branching timelines and possibility clouds that only she could naturally perceive. A young man in the corner of the room, Marcus Wong, formerly a video game designer, raised his hands. Where Emily saw quantum possibilities, he could weave them into new patterns. Together, they had discovered that different perspectives of the same quantum reality could create unexpected synergies. "Ready when you are, Emily," Marcus said, his fingers moving as if playing an invisible instrument. The air between them crystallized into a web of potential futures, each strand glowing with possibility. It wasn't just theoretical anymore. They were learning to manipulate the quantum fabric of reality itself. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the facility. Sarah's tablet lit up with urgent notifications. "Alliance ships are moving," she announced. "They've detected our quantum manipulations." James rushed to the main console, pulling up external feeds. The crystalline vessels had shifted formation, their neural network of golden energy pulsing with increased intensity. They're adapting their transmission frequency. We're seeing new patterns in the transformation signal. "Let them come," Emily said, opening her eyes. They held a subtle iridescence now, reflecting quantum possibilities. Each change they make gives us more insight into how their technology works. Marcus nodded, his own abilities allowing him to translate quantum patterns into usable interfaces. "It's like they're writing the code, but we're learning to rewrite it." Human minds are more flexible than they anticipated. Sarah moved to the center of the room. "We need to accelerate our plans. More people are falling into transformation sleep every day. If we can't wake them on their own terms, we can." Came a new voice. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, their resident neuroscientist and another awakened individual, entered the chamber, where Emily saw quantum possibilities and Marcus could weave them. Yuki had developed the ability to connect with other consciousnesses at the quantum level. "I've made contact with others in the transformation sleep," Yuki explained, her voice carrying an echo of countless connected minds. "They're not just sleeping. They're in a quantum superposition of consciousness. The Alliance intended to force them into a single controlled state, but human consciousness naturally resists such constraints." James checked his readings, eyes widening. "She's right. Look at these patterns. Every sleeping person is unconsciously creating their own unique quantum signature. The Alliance's uniform transformation protocol is being individualized." Sarah pulled up a global map showing the spread of the sleeping sickness. Nearly 40% of Earth's population was now affected. But where there had been chaos, pockets of organization were emerging as awakened individuals like Yuki made contact with those still in transition. "We're not just subjects of their transformation anymore," Emily realized, watching the quantum probability cloud shift. "We're becoming something they never expected, a bridge between classical and quantum reality, each in our own way." Marcus grinned, his fingers dancing through possible futures. They wanted to upgrade humanity like a software patch. Instead, we're evolving like an open-source project, with everyone contributing their own unique modifications. The alarms continued to sound, but there was no fear in the chamber. The Alliance's attempt to force humanity into a predetermined mold had overlooked something fundamental: the human spirit's remarkable ability to take any situation and make it their own. "Time to wake up our siblings," Yuki said softly, her consciousness already reaching out to the sleepers, "and show the Alliance what humanity does best: turning others' plans into our own opportunities. Dr. James Morrison's fingers danced across the holographic interface, translating the alien data streams that Marcus had extracted from the Alliance's quantum network. The characters shifted and flowed, each symbol containing layers of meaning that seemed to change depending on how you perceived them. "This can't be right," he muttered, rubbing his tired eyes. The laboratory's soft blue lighting reflected off the crystalline sample they'd recovered from a smaller Alliance vessel. "Sarah, you need to see this." Captain Chen approached from her makeshift command center, where she'd been coordinating with other awakened humans worldwide. The dark circles under her eyes spoke of sleepless nights, but her gaze remained sharp. "What did you find?" "The Starshippers' records. They're not just historical documents. They're instruction manuals." James expanded the display, showing intricate diagrams of DNA structures and quantum probability matrices. "Look at this pattern. It matches human DNA exactly, but these modifications were designed millions of years ago." Emily and Marcus paused their quantum weaving practice to join them. The air around Emily rippled with possibility as she studied the ancient data. "Those aren't modifications," she said softly. "They're activation sequences. The potential was always there in our DNA, waiting for the right signal." Sarah leaned closer to the display. "Are you saying the Starshippers engineered humanity?" "Not exactly." James highlighted specific sequences in the data. They seeded countless worlds with the potential for quantum evolution. Each species would develop differently based on their environment and choices. The Alliance didn't discover this process. They're trying to control it. The crystalline sample pulsed faintly, responding to their quantum activities. Marcus reached out, his ability to interface with quantum systems revealing new layers of information. "There's more," he said, his voice filled with wonder. "The Starshippers didn't vanish. They evolved beyond physical form entirely. The Alliance found their legacy and assumed they were meant to control it." Yuke entered the lab, her quantum-enhanced consciousness connecting with the others. "The sleepers are changing faster now. Each awakening is unique, but they all follow patterns laid down in our DNA eons ago. The Alliance's signal isn't transforming us. It's just turning on what was always there." James pulled up comparative data from different awakened individuals. "Look at this diversity. Where the Alliance expected uniform development, we're seeing exponential variation. Each person's quantum abilities reflect their natural talents and inclinations. That's why they're afraid," Sarah realized. The Alliance built their civilization on controlling and directing evolution, but humanity's chaotic development threatens their entire worldview. The crystalline sample flared suddenly, projecting a star map into the air. Countless worlds glowed with potential, each marked with the same quantum signature they now sought in awakened humans. Emily reached out, her quantum sight revealing connections between the stars that normal space failed to capture. "We're not alone," she whispered. "Other worlds are awakening too. The Alliance's attempt to control evolution is having the opposite effect. They're triggering a cascade of awakening across multiple species." Marcus interfaced with the star map, his abilities translating more of the Starshippers' data. The Alliance thinks they're the inheritors of the Starshippers' legacy, but they fundamentally misunderstood their purpose. The Starshippers didn't want to create servants or subjects. They wanted to seed the galaxy with the potential for infinite diversity. Sarah's tablet chimed with urgent updates from around the world. More Alliance ships were arriving, but their signals seemed chaotic, uncoordinated. "They're panicking," she said. "Their perfect plan is unraveling across multiple worlds." "Good," James replied, his scientific curiosity blazing. "Every attempt they make to restore control just creates more variation in the awakening process. They wanted to make us like them, but instead, we're becoming something entirely new," Emily finished. "Something even the Starshippers might not have predicted." The star map pulsed with possibility, each point of light representing another world on the verge of quantum awakening. Humanity wasn't just fighting for their own evolution anymore. They were part of something far greater, a galactic renaissance that would forever change the nature of life itself. Sarah stood in Project Aurora's new command center, watching the global network of quantum signatures expand across the holographic display. Each point of light represented an awakened individual, their unique abilities creating a tapestry of human potential that grew more complex by the hour. Singapore Hub is online, Marcus announced, his consciousness interfaced directly with the quantum network he'd helped design. Dr. Lin's team has successfully awakened another 300 people. They're specializing in temporal perception. Emily moved her hands through the holographic display, her quantum sight revealing deeper patterns in the awakening process. Look at how their abilities complement each other. Where Dr. Lin's group perceives time's flow, the Cairo Hub manipulates spatial relationships. Together, they're mapping quantum pathways we never imagined possible. The Alliance ships in orbit had rearranged themselves again, their crystalline forms casting ever-changing shadows on the Earth below. Their golden energy network now pulsed with erratic patterns, reflecting their growing uncertainty. They're trying to adapt their signal, Yuki observed, her consciousness connected to thousands of other awakened minds. But every adjustment they make just creates new possibilities for us to explore. The sleepers are starting to dream in quantum reality. James entered the command center, his tablet displaying fresh data from the latest awakenings. We're seeing exponential growth in ability variation. The Moscow Hub has developed quantum engineering capabilities. They're actually modifying Alliance technology to serve human purposes. Sarah zoomed in on Eastern Europe, watching the network of awakened minds pulse with innovative energy. How many are still sleeping? About 30% of the global population, James replied. But those who are awakening are doing so faster and with more control. The first wave took weeks to stabilize their abilities. New awakened individuals are achieving control in days. A sudden alert drew their attention to the South Pacific. Emily's quantum sight focused on the region, her eyes widening. The Alliance is trying something new. They're attempting to establish direct quantum links with sleeping individuals. Marcus interfaced with the network, his ability to translate quantum patterns revealing the Alliance's strategy. They're trying to force a specific transformation pattern. But look, he highlighted the response of the sleeping humans. Even unconscious, human minds are adapting and redirecting the energy. Sarah opened a quantum channel to the other global hubs. Her voice carried not just through conventional communications, but through the quantum network itself, reaching every awakened individual. All hubs, be advised. The Alliance is making their move. Implement Protocol Starweaver. Across the planet, awakened humans began working in concert. The quantum network they'd created pulsed with coordinated purpose. In Singapore, Dr. Lin's team accelerated their temporal perception, creating safe spaces in time for new awakenings. Cairo's spatial manipulators extended quantum shields around vulnerable population centers. Energy spike from the Alliance fleet, James warned, but his voice held more curiosity than concern. They're powering up their main transformation array. Emily studied the quantum probability clouds surrounding Earth. They still don't understand. They see our quantum network and think we're copying their technology. They haven't realized we're creating something entirely new. Through Yuki's connection to the sleeping minds, they felt the Alliance's enhanced signal wash over the planet. But where they expected resistance or chaos, they found harmony. Millions of sleeping minds, guided by the awakened network, began transforming on their own terms. "It's beautiful," Marcus whispered, his quantum interface translating the process into visible patterns. The holographic display filled with cascading lights as humanity's collective consciousness adapted and evolved. Sarah watched as new points of light loomed across the global map. Each represented not just an awakening, but a unique expression of human potential. The Alliance had sought to impose order on human evolution, but they had instead catalyzed an explosion of diversity and creativity. "Send word to all hubs," she commanded, her voice carrying through the quantum network. "Phase 2 begins now. It's time to show the Alliance that humanity doesn't just adapt to change. We transform it into something greater than anyone imagined. Above them, the Alliance ship's golden network flickered with increasing instability as they confronted a truth they had never considered. In trying to control human evolution, they had unleashed something far more powerful: humanity's ability to reshape reality itself. The crystalline surface of the Alliance flagship rippled like liquid glass as Sarah Chen and her team materialized inside its quantum core. Emily's perception abilities had guided them through the ship's defenses, while Marcus's interface skills masked their quantum signatures from detection. 30 minutes until the convergence, Sarah whispered, though she knew the Alliance couldn't detect their physical voices. Around them, the ship's quantum processors hummed with energy, each crystal face displaying streams of data that would have been incomprehensible weeks ago. Their architecture is beautiful, Emily observed, her quantum sight revealing layers of complexity in the alien technology. But rigid. They built their entire civilization on controlled, predictable quantum states. Marcus reached out to the nearest crystal interface, his consciousness merging with the ship's systems. They're preparing another transformation pulse, bigger than anything we've seen. They're trying to force all sleeping humans into their predetermined pattern at once. Not if we have anything to say about it. James's voice came through their quantum link from Project Aurora. The global network is ready. Every hub is in position. Sarah moved deeper into the quantum core, her military training combining with her new abilities to guide their mission. The team had practiced this operation countless times in quantum simulations, but reality always held surprises. "Found it," Marcus announced, his fingers dancing through holographic command structures. Their primary transformation matrix, the source code for their entire evolutionary program. Emily studied the matrix, her expression shifting from concentration to surprise. "This is fascinating. They didn't create this technology. They discovered it. These are Starshipper algorithms, but they're using them wrong. Like trying to play a symphony by forcing every instrument to play the same note." The crystal walls around them pulsed with increasing energy as the Alliance prepared their massive transformation attempt. Through their quantum link, they could feel the tension in Project Aurora and the other hubs around the world. "How long do you need?" Sarah asked, positioning herself near the core's entrance. 3 minutes to understand the base code," Marcus replied, his consciousness deep in the Alliance systems. 2 more to implement our changes." Emily's quantum sight swept the surrounding chambers. "We have company. Alliance quantum engineers. They can't see us yet, but they sense something's different in their systems." Sarah smiled. "Let them come. Humanity's gotten very good at improvising." The next few minutes were a dance of quantum manipulation and stealth. While Marcus and Emily worked on the transformation matrix, Sarah used her developing abilities to redirect the attention of Alliance engineers, creating quantum echoes that led them away from the core. "This is incredible," Marcus breathed, deep in the code. Their entire evolutionary program is based on forcing quantum states to collapse into predetermined patterns. But look what happens when we... His consciousness reached out, making subtle adjustments to the base algorithms. The crystal walls flickered as the changes took effect. Emily's quantum sight captured the cascade of possibilities spreading through the Alliance network. Perfect. Instead of forcing a single transformation pattern, it now amplifies existing quantum potential. Everyone's inherent capabilities will develop naturally. "Incoming," Sarah warned as alarms began pulsing through the quantum frequencies. "They've detected the changes." Marcus completed the final adjustments just as Alliance security forces began converging on their position. "Done. Emily, get us out of here." Emily's perception of quantum space expanded, finding the perfect probability path for their escape. Just as Alliance forces burst into the core, the human team vanished, riding quantum possibilities back to Earth. They materialized in Project Aurora's command center as the Alliance ships above began their transformation pulse. But instead of the forced evolution they'd planned, the modified signal acted as a catalyst for natural quantum awakening. "Look at these readings," James exclaimed, studying the global response. Every sleeping person is awakening according to their own unique potential. The Alliance didn't just fail to control our evolution. They've given us the tools to perfect it. Through their quantum network, they felt millions of minds awakening simultaneously, each one adding new harmonies to humanity's quantum symphony. The Alliance had sought to impose their vision of perfection on humanity. Instead, they'd helped unlock humanity's true potential. The ability to forge their own destiny in the quantum realm. The Project Aurora Command Center had transformed into something that defied conventional physics. Quantum probability clouds shimmered around awakened humans as they coordinated with teams across the globe. The holographic displays showed not just Earth, but dozens of alien worlds where the effects of humanity's modified transformation signal were spreading. The Alliance Council is fracturing, Marcus reported, his consciousness interfaced with their quantum network. 3 more member species have broken away from their control protocols. They're beginning their own awakening processes. Sarah watched as the Alliance fleet above Earth split into opposing factions. The crystalline ships rearranged themselves into new formations, their neural networks flickering with conflicting commands. How many worlds are affected now? 27 confirmed, Emily answered, her quantum sight extending through the modified Alliance network. Each species is developing unique expressions of quantum ability. The Centaurians are evolving collective consciousness abilities. The Proxima colonies are developing quantum engineering skills we never imagined possible. James burst into the command center, his tablet displaying fresh data from their quantum probes. You need to see this. The Starshaper ruins on Mars. They're activating. All of them, simultaneously. The team gathered around the central platform as new holographic projections appeared. Ancient structures buried beneath Mars' surface were pulsing with quantum energy, responding to the wave of awakening spreading across the galaxy. It's a validation protocol, Yuki realized, her connection to the quantum network revealing patterns hidden for millions of years. The Starshippers left markers to guide future species when they reached this level of quantum evolution. We didn't just break free of Alliance control, we achieved what the Starshippers intended all along. Through their quantum links, they felt the moment other species began to truly awaken. It wasn't just about developing abilities anymore. It was about understanding the fundamental interconnectedness of all conscious life. The Alliance leadership is requesting direct communication, Marcus announced, surprise evident in his voice. Not through conventional channels. They want to connect through the quantum network. Sarah nodded, and the team joined their consciousness together, creating a stable quantum space for the dialogue. The Alliance leaders appeared as patterns of pure quantum information, their rigid structures already showing signs of change. You have undone the work of centuries. The Alliance Archon's thoughts resonated through the quantum field. Our perfect system of controlled evolution was never meant to be controlled, Sarah interrupted, humanity's understanding flowing through her words. The Starshippers didn't leave us technology to impose order. They left us the potential to grow beyond our limits, all of us, together. Emily's quantum sight revealed the truth in the ancient ruins, in the DNA of every species, in the very fabric of space-time itself. Your civilization achieved incredible things by studying the Starshippers' legacy. But you forgot their most important lesson. True evolution can't be forced. It has to be chosen. Through their connection, they felt the Alliance leaders' resistance crumbling as they experienced the symphony of awakening consciousness across the galaxy. Where they had sought uniformity, they found endless variation. Where they had tried to impose control, they discovered liberation. The pattern is complete, Marcus whispered, his interface ability showing him the full scope of what they'd achieved. The quantum network humanity had created wasn't just connecting worlds. It was transforming the very nature of space-time, opening doorways to new dimensions of existence. James studied the readings from Mars, his scientific wonder overtaking his caution. The Starshipper ruins aren't just activating. They're transforming. I think they're becoming something new. Something that combines their ancient knowledge with what we've created. Sarah felt the quantum resonance building toward a crescendo. Humanity had not only survived the Alliance's attempted forcing of evolution, they had catalyzed a transformation beyond anything the Starshapers might have imagined. The rigid boundaries between species, between matter and energy, between past and future, were dissolving into a new harmony of infinite possibility. "Let go of control," she told the Alliance leaders, her words carrying the weight of humanity's journey. "Join us in what comes next. The universe is about to remember how to dream." 1 year after the Great Awakening, Sarah Chen stood on the observation deck of humanity's first quantum-engineered starship, the Dreamweaver. The vessel represented everything humanity had become, a perfect fusion of Alliance crystal technology, Starshipper principles, and human innovation. Through its transparent hull, she could see Earth shimmering with quantum energy, a beacon of transformation in the cosmic night. Final diagnostics complete, Marcus called from his interface station. His consciousness merged seamlessly with the ship's quantum systems. The navigation matrix is accepting input from all crew members simultaneously. "We're creating flight paths that shouldn't be possible." Emily stood beside him, her quantum sight now able to perceive the intricate ways their crew of 50 awakened humans work together. Each person's unique abilities strengthen the whole. "We're not just flying through space. We're rewriting its rules as we go." The ship's quantum core hummed with possibility as Dr. Morrison entered the bridge. "The latest data from the Mars ruins is extraordinary. They're not just ancient artifacts anymore. They're evolving alongside us, becoming interfaces between normal space and the quantum realm." Through their expanded consciousness, they could feel the changes rippling across the galaxy. Hundreds of species were exploring their own paths of quantum evolution, each bringing new harmonies to the universal symphony. The Alliance had fractured and reformed into something new, a coalition of awakened species, each contributing their unique perspectives to the greater whole. "Incoming transmission," Yuki announced, her abilities now extending across vast distances. "The Centaurian collective consciousness wants to share something." The quantum network lit up with alien thoughts, but they were no longer strange or incomprehensible. In their awakened state, humanity could understand the mathematical poetry of Centaurian communication, the crystalline logic of former Alliance species, even the abstract quantum patterns left by the Starshapers themselves. "They found more ruins," Sarah translated for the crew, "not just records or technology. They think they've discovered where the Starshipers went, or rather, what they became." The Dreamweaver's quantum displays shifted, showing patterns that existed between normal space and pure quantum potential. The Starshipers hadn't vanished. They had evolved into beings of pure quantum consciousness, existing in a realm that only awakened species could perceive. "We're ready," Marcus said softly, his fingers dancing through holographic controls. "The quantum drive can take us anywhere in the galaxy, or beyond it, if we dare." Sarah looked at her crew, seeing not just their physical forms, but the intricate quantum patterns that made each of them unique. Some could navigate probability itself. Others could communicate with quantum systems directly. There were those who could perceive parallel realities, and those who could weave them together. Each ability was different, yet they all worked in perfect harmony. The Alliance tried to force all species into a single pattern, James observed, reviewing data from their year of transformation. Instead, they accidentally created the exact conditions the Starshipers intended: infinite diversity in infinite combinations. Through the quantum network, they felt Earth's response to their impending departure. Billions of awakened minds wished them well, each consciousness adding its own unique note to the farewell symphony. Humanity had not only survived its trial by fire, it had emerged transformed, yet fundamentally unchanged in its core qualities of adaptability, creativity, and determination. "Set course for the Starshipper coordinates," Sarah commanded, feeling the ship's quantum systems respond to her thoughts. "Let's show the universe what humanity dreams of becoming." The Dreamweaver's quantum drive engaged, creating new pathways through reality itself. As they departed their solar system, Sarah reflected on how far they'd come. The Alliance had tried to break humanity's dreams and replace them with a controlled nightmare. Instead, they had awakened something far more powerful: humanity's ability to transform any challenge into an opportunity for growth. Their ship accelerated into quantum space, carrying with it humanity's greatest gifts to the galaxy: the courage to face the unknown, the creativity to reshape it, and the wisdom to know that true evolution comes not from control, but from embracing the infinite possibilities that lie within every conscious mind. The symphony of stars awaited, and humanity was ready to add its voice to the cosmic chorus.